Good evening, dear students. Today I am giving you a lecture on medieval theatre of English literature, which includes mystery, miracle, and morality plays. This medieval drama was religious drama which flourished from about the 9th century to the 16th century. Medieval times started after the fall of Rome and lasted through to 15th century, roughly to the Protestant Reformation up to early 16th century. During medieval times, the church took over the theatre almost exclusively. The three primary genres, mystery, miracle, and morality plays, evolved through the church during these times. The primary method of teaching and learning was through the oral tradition, and the biblical stories were in Latin language, not readable by the majority of the people. During the medieval period, the institution of church became very powerful. In fact, the church has become so strong that it was able to close all theatre productions except for those that it officially sanctioned. This place association with the church is due to this oral tradition of teaching that these early forms of English drama developed, originated in the vicinity of church. I begin with the first form, that is the mystery plays. Medieval mystery plays focused on the representation of Bible stories in churches. During the 12th century it developed. It began with subtle changes to the services for religious holidays such as Easter and Good Friday. During these special days, the religious practices were a little bit refined or evolved. For example, that it involved bringing down the cross for all to see, and expanded to the Christmas service with the scene of Christ's birth in the manger. So with these depiction of little events, the early form of drama developed. These early performances were given in Latin and were preceded by a vernacular prologue spoken by a herald who gave a synopsis of the events. One of the first liturgical performances, an example of a mystery play, was the Easter Trope performed in the 10th century. It was also called Quem Quaeritis, meaning whom do you seek? These plays were dramatizations of both the Old and New Testament miracles. That means the biblical stories from these two testaments were taken to be enacted by the clergyman. When it became popular and audiences turned towards them, gradually these plays were shifted from church building to the courtyard of the church, and afterwards they were shifted to the roads and squares of towns. With this shift of performing plays, there was change in the content as well, and the sacred biblical stories got interrupted with, or there was inclusion of substandard material as well. In 1210 AD, there was a ban of mystery plays imposed by Pope Innocent III, which caused the plays begin to perform in small town guilds. And now, from here, the performers were changed from clergy or church people to other town people performers. These plays were performed in a serialized manner, and there were four most prominent collections of mystery plays, namely the York Cycle with 48 pageants, means 48 plays were included in York Cycle. In the Towneley plays, 32 stories of plays were included. The Chester Cycle included 24 pageants, and the four Wakefield North Town plays included 42 plays. These cycles found a good opportunity of presentation when there was the introduction of the Corpus Christi festival in 1311. This festival took place after 57 days of Easter. Then these cycles of the plays were performed during the feast of Corpus Christi. The content of this presentation was related with Christ's life and his redemption of all of mankind. These performances were grouped together and consisted of plays such as Noah and the flood, and the creation of the world, and the fall of Adam. Moreover, the popular topic was Christ and his crucifixion and resurrection. Since they were performed from place to place, for their performance a wagon or a traveling stage set off on a wagon was used. They had traveling stage. Now, as far this term mystery is concerned, this word has been derived from the Latin word ministerium. Ministerium meaning craft, or an association of clergy from different religious groups. That is, it was related with their performance, what skill they adopted, and the kind of association they formed, which was called the guild. Guild was their association. This mystery term is somewhat in relation to their craft of performance. By the time of the end of the 15th century and the beginning of the Reformation in England, the mystery plays started to die down and were replaced in popularity by morality plays. So, these medieval religious drama started with mystery plays, but by the end of 15th century, the popularity was gained by the morality plays. One of the most widely known mystery plays, the Second Shepherd's Play, which depicts three shepherds at the birth of Christ in Bethlehem. This is important play, the Second Shepherd's Play, a mystery play. Here comes some example of common mystery plays. These are Birth of Jesus, The Wise Men, Flight into Egypt. The Second Shepherd's Play mentioned earlier here, which was written in the late 15th century. Fall of Lucifer, Cain and Abel, Noah and the Flood, the Nativity, and the Passion of Christ. Now come to another miracle plays. Usually people take mystery and miracle plays as interchangeable, but there is difference between these two, where the mystery plays depict the biblical stories, the miracle plays are dealing with saints' lives. These plays are dedicated to the lives of various saints. That is why they are also called miracle plays or saints' plays. These are distinguished from mystery plays as they specifically reenacted miraculous inventions by the saints. I repeat, miraculous interventions by the saints, particularly Saint Nicholas and Saint Mary. What miracle they were doing in the lives of ordinary people for their welfare or cure. Like mystery plays, the miracle plays originated to enhance the liturgical services and were later separated from the church. Actually, they originated from mystery plays. From the biblical stories, there was a shift to present saints' miracles and their influence upon the lives of ordinary people. Gradually, as mystery plays were shifted being performed from church to the small towns, the same happened with the miracle plays as well. They were performed in town festivals in the 13th century. They presented either a real or fictitious account of the life, miracles, or martyrdom of a saint. Most miracle plays are performed about either Saint Nicholas or the Virgin Mary, as mentioned earlier. Almost all surviving miracle plays concern either the Virgin Mary or Saint Nicholas. But there is one more play, 4th century Bishop of Myra in Asia Minor. Both Mary and Nicholas had active cults during the Middle Ages, and belief in the healing powers of saintly relics was widespread. So in this climate, miracle plays flourished. But like mystery plays, a ban was also imposed upon miracle plays by King Henry VIII during the 16th century. Some examples of these miracle plays are the conversion of St. Paul, Mary Magdalene, the play of the sacrament. Now the third genre of morality plays. Mystery plays depicting the stories from the Bible, biblical stories. Miracles dealing with the Miracles of Saints, depicting saints' lives. Morality plays, they also stemmed from mystery and miracle plays. They were allegorical dramas, that is, they presented personified moral values and abstract ideas. Purpose was to teach moral lessons. They were popular during 15th and 16th century in medieval Europe. These dramas were didactic, giving lesson or providing information or giving some education to the people. The most common and famous play is Everyman, which is an English version of the Dutch play about the inevitability of death. Morality plays are the result of Christian symbolism, means uh, where virtues and vices or these qualities are presented in the persona of the character, and according to their values they do perform action in the drama, and ultimately there is winning of virtues over the vices. Some important examples of morality plays are The Castle of Perseverance, Hicks Corner, Everyman, written during late 15th century. You may have this play with this spelling as well, The Summoning of Everyman or The Summoning of Everyman. These are the same. Since the mystery plays were performed in cycle, they were having a series of many dramas. So, to change the mood and tone of such long performances, later on there was inclusion of a small humorous play, a short piece of enactment which is called the interlude. The interlude, an interlude is a short humorous play which is presented between the parts of a miracle or morality play. It can be better called a playlet, a small piece of play actually performed between the courses of the cycle of the plays. During the long cycle of series of the plays in between, for a change, these entertaining piece of performances were included. So, an interlude is a short play of a sort popular in the Tudor period, which is either farcical or moralistic in tone, that had a plot typically derived from French farce or the morality play. So here we see either was a farce or it had some moral lesson in it. Variety of short entertainments, including secular farces and witty dialogues, was the characteristic of such interludes. These interludes may be included in between the acts of a play, and whenever they were presented, the purpose was always the comic relief to provide some relaxation to the audience. One important name of interlude writer is John Haywood. He was very popular during his time. So, After this introduction to these medieval dramas, now I am presenting you some MCQs on the topic, and I call you to solve all these questions coming on your screen. Unlike previous videos, this time I'm not giving you answers right now. You have to solve them on your own. We'll give you answers later on, then we will tell. First, the miracle plays principally deal with the miracles performed by options. Gradually, I am scrolling it. Second is the mystery plays deal with. Third, what is the most significant feature of the morality plays? Why were the interludes introduced? Biblical themes were enacted in. The resurrection of Lazarus was a very popular play in the 15th century. Which kind of play it was? Next is virtues and vices are personified in. I hope you would be able to solve them. Next, the castle of perseverance is significant. Morality, miracle, interlude, none of the above. Further, yes, 27 questions altogether. You please solve them. I'll give you the answers later on to tell. I hope this presentation will be helpful to you. That's all for today. Thank you.